Hey there, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to part 2 of my project here where I am making an office desk out of walnut that someone commissioned me for. At the end of part 1, I was sitting here just discussing how I was going to go about making the drawers, the first drawer for this office desk. And that's where part 2 kicks off. I'm right here at the bench, about to cut some domino slots in 1/2-inch Baltic birch to make this first drawer. All right, well, I decided I was going to do the file drawer first. So I went ahead and clamped up the first side. So let me cut the domino slots. I'll just use my 23 gauge pin nailer to clamp it in place, but that'll be plenty strong enough. So go ahead and make the rest of them. All right, so I have cut all of the components now for the drawer, the one file drawer, so let me put it together. All right, one drawer down, 2 more to go. Okay, so I've cut the dados on the inside of the front and back aprons of that main part of the desk. I've also cut the plywood pieces that are going to make up that drawer box, and the drawer slides will also be attached to this plywood here. So now I'm going to put it all together and let it dry. And tomorrow I will make the desk or the drawer for this box. All right, so I finished making the drawers. So now what I'm going to do is start hanging them. And if you watch my episode on hanging drawers, you'll know that I usually use the top of a cabinet as a reference when I don't have the bottom like this when it's open. But since I have these rails here that are going to hold the pull-out writing surface for this desk, I can't use the top as a reference. These things are in the way. So I went ahead and made a jig that will allow me to use the front of the cabinet as a reference. And I used a right angle clamp to make sure that this angle is as close to 90 degrees as possible. So I'm going to start with the top drawer in this cabinet, just above the filing drawer. And what I've done is I've gone ahead and marked where I want the bottom of the drawer slide to be mounted on this surface. And I've also marked the amount of recess I want for the cabinet member of the drawer slide system. So now, again, I'm going to start with this top drawer. Let me get this where I want it. All right, so I'll do the same thing to the other side and test it out. All right, so I went ahead and got the drawer slides installed, put the cabinet members in, and I lined up the corresponding slides about the center line of the drawer. I tested it once before I started rolling to make sure it works, but let me do it now for the camera. Watch it not go in now. And there it is. All right, so I have the drawers done. Did some preliminary sanding to get some of the glue and pencil marks off. So now what I'm gonna do is start attaching the drawer fronts. I'll start with the bottom here first. And what I'm gonna do for that is I put some of this double stick carpet tape on the drawer front. If I can get the stuff off. And I've already gone ahead and cut this bottom drawer, the front of it, to size, leaving about 1/8 of an inch around the perimeter. So what I'm gonna try to do is center it where I want. I have a little 1/8 inch one of these brass spacer bars just sitting here. I'm gonna try to get it centered where I want, press it up against the drawer, and try real hard not to move it while I take the drawer out and screw it in place. That looks pretty good. All right, hopefully it doesn't move. So far, so good. Come on. All right. I don't think it moved, but let me just put it back in to make sure. They went the brass bar. All right, 1 down and 3 to go. Okay, so I have gone ahead and I've installed the drawers. I've attached the drawer fronts, and I went ahead and attached all of the drawer pulls to the drawers. I have one more pull though I need to install, and this is going to go on that pull-out writing surface, which is this, at the top of the desk. You know, that little thing there. And what I'm gonna do to attach the pull, well, a couple of things. One is I want to cover up the end grain here so you don't see it. And of course, these pulls screw in from the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to countersink, drill some holes and countersink them to attach these drawer pulls to this piece here that's going to cover up the end grain. And then to attach this to that, I'm going to use pocket screws, about 3 pocket screws. And the reason why I'm doing this is, I mean, this is not that wide, but at 14 inches, you know, seasonal expansion and contraction might be significant enough to somewhat warp this if I don't allow it to move. So what I'm going to do is actually what I did for the drawer cabinet to attach the top. I'm going to drill on the ends here. I'll put one in the center, but on the ends here, I'm going to drill a couple of pocket screws really close together, and I can kind of hollow out the little hole that's made by this pocket hole drill bit. I put two of these close together. That will elongate the screw hole so that when I attach this front, they'll be able to move. The screws will be able to move a little bit throughout the year with seasonal expansion. Again, I don't think it'll be significant, but I don't want to take the chance of this top warping after it's been delivered and out of state. So that's my next step. Okay, so here is the setup to attach this front, this pull section on this little pull-out riding surface. It's upside down. Here's the bottom. And what I've gone ahead and done, like I mentioned, I countersunk the holes and attached the pull. And you can see here are the pocket screws that I drilled. This one I'm not worried about, the center. And I drilled a couple here close together that should allow plenty enough movement for the top to expand and contract throughout the year. So now I'm just going to attach this, make sure it works. Let's see how it works. Looks good. There's no stops in it right now. I'll just attach some stops to the back here on the sides of the cabinet so it, stops in the right place, but looks good. Okay, the moment of truth. I have put little stop blocks in for the riding surface. I've gone ahead and cut a few more domino slots in legs. I'm calling legs 2 and 5, basically the middle two legs of the desk. So now what I'm about to do is to dry fit the whole desk together, minus the top, to make sure it fits before I take it apart, do the finish sanding, and start to apply the finish. So let's see if it all goes together. All right, so today is the day I start applying the finish. I have gone ahead and sanded all the components, everything except for the actual top for the desk. I've started sanding the little pull-out riding surface, but I'm going to apply the finish on those components last. What I'm going to do now is just start putting on several coats. I'm going to use this resin modified tung oil, several coats. I'm going to start putting on the first coat using a foam applicator. And I've gone ahead and taped off some areas where I'm going to try to avoid applying finish, because there I'll be doing some additional glue ups, obviously. So now let me start putting on some finish. Time for the first coat. Keep my Darth Vader voice going here. All right, that does it for this project. Thank you again for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope you found this useful and as perhaps somewhat entertaining. And if you did, please don't forget to hit that like button. That's very much appreciated. And also, if you've not done so already, please also subscribe to my channel so you can get notifications of future content. And if you have any questions about anything that you saw me do in this project or didn't see me do, put those in the comments below and I will do my best to answer. And bye for now.